Meat, no drop wasted. My Iron Man account who's restricted to using everything in a drop. Monster drops, skilling, or anything related falls into this drop category. These drops can't leave my inventory until I completely use them, from turning herbs into potions or ores into a chest plate. I can't use traditional shops, item spawns, or kill an NPC or harvest a resource unless I can use the full drop table in some way. To summarize all my restrictions, you can treat every skill now being a quest, with the first goal being Jad. Let's get the grind. So literally right after episode 1 I got a maze random. I'm super excited about what I get from this. Alright, let's see what we get. Okay, 8 death runes. Highly disappointed. So I was on my way to thieve some more cakes, do the typical, but I remember last time I went to go thieve some cakes, I had a lot of difficulty running back and forth, so we're gonna do some agility. Oh shit. Well, there's level 10. Now that I got my agility up a little bit, let's try the baking stalls again. Level 35 and level 36. After doing a couple of those levels at the bakery stall, I realized I need more agility because that was still horrendous to walk back and forth between the stall and the bank. So here we are doing more agility. Oh look, level 11. And level 12.
Another one.
And there is the first mark of grace. So if you didn't know, I actually can use these. I have to keep it in my inventory at all times, but I can use the reward shops.
Another one.
And that's the 100th time falling.
Another one.
Here comes level 20. Absolutely beautiful. But we're not done yet. Before going to the Alcrid agility course, I got a little pit stop. So if you remember from last episode, I died at White Wolf Mountain. That was my hardcore status gone. But I left 158 coins in the graveyard, so I'm gonna pick that up. New agility course, new me. I had a lot of time to think while I was doing this agility training. So I went ahead and looked into what I needed to do for the construction grind, and I found some really sad things. So if you didn't know, construction requires 2 essential items. So you have the hammer, and then you have a saw. The saws and our exceptions, you can't get it anywhere else other than a store, so we already have that in the bag. But if you look at the hammer, and we look at the item sources for it, you'll see that there's a lot of sources and it looks good. But when you look deeper into it, with my restrictions, I can only do the imp and the level 7 dwarf underneath White Wolf Mountain. I had to be specific there with the dwarf because the regular drop table for a dwarf, I can't do. But the White Wolf one, I can. Looking at the imp's drop table, if we go down here, you'll see that we have beads. You have the fiendish ashes, which is pretty easy to use. Bronze bolts, I could just get a crossbow, no problem. So the issue that comes with this, let me find it really quick. So we have ashes and we have the mine talesman. So the reason why these are big issues is that ashes can turn into ground ashes or be used for serum 207s. And I don't have access to a pestle and mortar. And the only one I can use that's considered a service would be in the desert, and I can't get there. So that's one thing about the ashes. And then the mine talesman, I can't make it into a tiara. And yeah, that's pretty much what I can't do with it. So now we go to the level 7 dwarf. This is where it gets a little interesting. So if we look at the regular drop table, it looks like it could do all of this stuff. Chaos Nature Runes, I just get the magic up, no problem. But for the regular dwarfs, the Crew Score Beginner, that's what stops me. But then you see the White Wolf Mountain Tunnel drops. So if we scroll down here, it's the typical drops, but there's no beginner clue scroll. So this is looking good. Rare drop table we don't care about. But then we run into this issue. So the ores that it drops. You see the hammer there, which is nice, this is what we want. But this cold drop requires us to be 30 smithing to make it into a steel bar. And just before that, we actually have this iron ore, which is also another issue to get to 15 smithing. If you're wondering why smithing is such an issue, is because I don't have access to a pickaxe. If we look at the bronze pickaxe, for example, there's a lot of drop sources like always, but once you start getting into those drop tables, there's clue scrolls I can't do, there's herbs, there's pretty much anything you could think of that's been my issue pretty much. So to try to counter me not being able to have a pickaxe, I went to the quest experience table. I thought it was pretty reasonable. So when we look at the smithing table, there's actually one that I can do. I can't do the rest with my restrictions, and that's the Forsaken Tower. So this only gives us 500 XP, but there are a couple of quests that give you the free XP lamp. So if you go down here to skill choice, so it actually kind of lines up, which is pretty nice. You have X marks the spot and then Client of Corinth, which those give you lamps. So those lamps together plus Forsaken Tower gets me about 1800 smithing XP, but for me to get to level 30, I'm gonna need around 9000 XP. So what it came down to is that once I do get these lamps and the quest experience, I would have to wait for random events if I don't want to break the integrity of the account. So while we wait for these random genies or books of knowledge, we're gonna have to find something else to do. And no, it is level 30 smithing, not level 20. I can't steal from the silver stall and make them into silver bars for smithing XP, because then I don't have anything to use the silver bar with. Now that that's out of the way, let's get back to agility.
Another one, another one, another one, another one, another one.
I mean, I would have preferred a genie or a dunce. I'll take 3 uncut diamonds. I don't have to use them right now, so I'll take them.
Another one.
And we're still not done. I know this is random, but let's look at the achievement diaries. So already we got 1. The wilderness, we even got 1. Western province, we got 1. For rock, we got 2. 1 easy, 1 medium. Lumbridge, we got a couple. We got 2 easies. We got a medium. Absolutely beautiful. Hey, look, a plant. Okay, I'm getting absolutely tired of this. I'm done. I went back to thieving and got myself level 37. Level 38. Hello, Mr. Beekeeper. Hopefully I get myself some fashionscape. That's what I like to see. No defense bonuses, just fashion. I'm an absolute baller. Level 39 thieving. This next one here is going to be the end of the thieving grind for a little bit. Level 40. Just got a cosmic talisman from a random event. So you'll see here that I have 5 pieces of bread and I'm running to the dig site. No one does this, but I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So the dig site workman has a couple of items I actually really want. So we got the spade, we got leather gloves, which is a nice armor upgrade. We got a bucket, which we can fill with water and make soft clay. And then we have rope, which we need rope for a ton of things. And why am I doing this? For X marks the spot, you need a spade to complete it. And what this gives you is a antique lamp. The antique lamp is going to be used towards smithing. I talked about it earlier while I was on the Al-Qarid agility course. And I know that X marks the spot gives you a beginner clue scroll, but this is an exception that I think is fine for the progression of the account. It may not make sense right now, but I think this is the least intrusive way to get my account progressed. since I'm not going to kill anything that drops the beginner clue scroll, I think me having one in my inventory will be fine for now. Let's enjoy some thieving content that isn't the bakery stall. I got enough spades to do X marks the spot 5 times now. I'm only staying because I'm looking for a bucket. I got the leather gloves upgrade, so this actually worked out pretty nice. There we go. Let's go do X marks the spot. Step 1 completed. Step 2. Step 3 completed. Step 4 bless. And that's X marks the spot done. So with that quest, we pretty much lost another inventory slot for a while with the beginner clue scroll, but I think it's worth. Me using this antique lamp on smithing pretty much gets rid of like 2 months of genie lamps or dunce books that I would need to get this to level 4. And for the sake of the series, I think this is necessary. So for Client of Corinne's, I need a singular feather. Just one. So, we go down here. The first thing that really catches my eye is the seagull. And if we go here, it looks like it drops a feather. So after 2 seagull kills, I realized I'm an idiot. And I killed the wrong seagull. The seagull I want to kill is in the graveyard. If we look at where the graveyard is, of course, look at that. All the way in Mauritania. And since the seagull's location is a little sus, I don't know if we can even get there. I did some more research and I found the undead chicken. This also drops feathers, it's in Mauritania, but there's no beginner clue score with it. And I know for a fact that I could get here. I know you're wondering how I ended up here, so let me explain. To get to Mauritania, we need to do Priest in Peril, which requires rune/pure essence and a bucket. I already have the bucket, but getting the pure essence was a whole nother story. To sum up all my research, I landed on the Zamorak Crafter. I've never heard of this guy, but his drop table is pretty simple. It's just every rune in existence and pure essence. So now that we discussed about the Zamorak Crafter, I think you can figure out why I'm at the Arceus library now. The goal is to get 49 magic and 6 rune crafting. So the reason why the goals are 49 magic and 6 rune crafting is because the Death Rune and Blood Rune are the highest runes, I would say, on the crafter's drop table, and 49 magic will allow me to cast the lowest spell required with Blood and Death runes. So as long as I have 49 magic, I can pretty much collect all the runes on this guy's table. And for the pure essence, the 6 rune crafting allows me to gather air talisman and water talisman without having to make a tiara and not be an exception, because I could just keep using each talisman on each of the altars and I think make mist runes, if I'm correct. Doing this grind with the Zamorak Crafter also hides the fact that I'm getting my magic up to 49 and I'm collecting runes, which will make the Temple Guardian and the Monk of Zamorak a lot easier to kill. The first dopamine rush is about to be magic. So beautiful, bring a tear to my eyes. So we ended the magic dopamine rush around level 6. That's actually pretty good. Yeah. We all know what time it is. Rune crafting time. I can't believe that only got me to level 2. Another inventory of magic dopamine for the level 18. An inventory of runecrafting dopamine for the level 4. And that's the end of episode 2. This was recorded after a lot of discovery and a lot of leveling, so I don't have any of the account progress to show you, like my overall stats, or I would say like my time played. It would ruin episode 3, so I apologize for that, but a lot of discovery was made in the next episode, so hopefully I see you then.